On episode 272 of the Upland Property Experts podcast, we have Mass Chef with racing. Las Vegas is expanding, more block explorers and badges, and another frost season challenge. Stay tuned for all the shenanigans.
The UPX Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host, too stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland Property Experts, baby, UPX.
Welcome to the Upland Property Experts podcast, episode 272. I'm your host, Too Stupid to Win, and as always, I'm joined by ThankMeLater. How we doing, brother?
What up? I am doing good not really in the hood. I actually live in a really nice part of Texas. But
You do, and you staying warm?
No. Oh my gosh. Like it's hard because like you can't really complain. I mean, we talked to Dizzy and like where he's at, it's like negative 50 or some nonsense.
Negative 30, but still nonsense.
Like, the problem here is like it's just not set up for the cold. So even though it's only like, 16 degrees, like the heaters just aren't equipped to heat your places that hot. The walls are not insulated to keep the heat in. It's a bit of a mess for people, but yeah, I'm staying warm. It's all right.
Yeah. Craziness. A lot to talk about. And I know we talked a few weeks ago about a city release happening, and it was probably going to be a Las Vegas expansion. So that wasn't a surprise, I don't think, to anyone that they were expanding Vegas, but we'll jump more into that.
Well, especially thematically, right? Like the frost season was Vegas. They're doing a lot with Vegas. It makes sense that they would expand that territory as part of kind of their frost season. And I could see them doing that. And I kind of like that. Again, there is some, interesting as the seasons go, targeting certain cities. It gives more action, gets people who maybe, aren't in one city, but in another, an opportunity to showcase what they're doing in their city. I like the idea of bringing focus to a single city during a season.
Absolutely.
It was 104 today. Goodness gracious.
Hey, heat wave in Minneapolis. Woohoo, 24 degrees. Ugh, 104. All right. Let's get Mass Chef on so we can jump into all kinds of other discussions later. What's going on, Mass?
What is up, gentlemen? It's cold as hell here, so. Frost racing. It's very appropriate because it's like -6 where I live right now. So
nice.
Hey, JT, I don't know if you saw the message, but you have to get your URL map asset from Chef for the Nashville track, buddy.
There's our favorite chef.
There's our favorite cheese.
There you go.
What up, cheese?
I feel like there's a dirty entendre about a grilled cheese sandwich. Someone make a grilled cheese sandwich.
Could be. All right. Well, let's talk frost racing. We had quite a bit of movement in the championship board over the last week. I put some arrows on there so people can kind of see what was happening. Green arrow means they've moved up the leaderboard since last week. They were already in the top 16. And I've dropped that down to the top 14 now. And red means they've dropped down, and gold means they're making a debut on the board this week. So they weren't on the top 16 last week, but they are in the top 14 this week. So lots of new names on the championship board. Alejo got in there. We got Spaztastic 83 jumping in, making his debut at number 5.
Splashing on in there.
So that's a big, giant splash. right into the middle of that board with 550 points. So very nicely done. Akaproppy getting in on top 11 there. Funky Beats, name we haven't seen on the boards for a little while, up in the top there, jumping up in making a debut on the board at number 12. So she's racking up some points on that board in the last week. So good to see some movement in these boards. Not a lot of movement on the recreational side. Top 5 all stayed the same. Cruiserito jumped up in there a couple of spaces. Juan Pedro lost a spot. Scorpio King 3 makes her debut on the top 14 of that board, coming in with some points. One of our rookie URL drivers this season, Scorpio King, jumping in there. And, of course, sponsored by the UPX Podcast. So good to see that in there.
Nice.
And no change really here. We didn't race last week. We're doing race number 5 tomorrow. So not a lot has moved on here, but I did want to still point out the fact that only 7 points are separating the top 6 places on this board. So this thing is really just anybody's game. Interesting to see how the Mahoney bounced back after not making the finals for only the second time in his career the last race. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. And again, here is the race to 1 million, the team leaderboard. Mahoney's still on top there, no movement as we move along. We are in Iceman International Raceway this week. We're going to be in Tyner North next week. Then we're off for a week, and we're coming right back with the URS Frost Championship that happens on the 14th of March at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is the track we're running on this week. This is newly sanctioned track with the Ultimate Racing League. This is Iceman International Raceway. Iceman, a big supporter of URL, so we're happy about that. But this thing is nasty. 27 turns. We've got a lot of hairpins in here. There is a couple of really nice boost spots. We've got an extended boost spot for those who know what that is. You're able to make an extension on a regular boost if you do it just right in a certain part of the track. So
what part is that?
I can't say it on live television here.
Why can't you say
not?
That's nonsense. What is it?
So if you make your boost right around turn number 2, you can extend it through turn 4 if you're in the right lane. It is a
see, because I don't even understand what that means. So I was like, probably something between 4 and 9. Like that's a long straightaway.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's what we call an extended boost. So an extended boost is typically around a corner. And it is technically a glitch, but it only is on certain tracks and you have to kind of find it. So this is one of those tracks that has that little extended boost if you do it just right. And it is something that you have to practice because in my practice runnings on these tracks, I was only able to get it twice out of about 10 runs. So
so that's the kind of thing that's not like, I don't know. I completely disagree with any sort of knowledge gating. Like, if you have this information and you're really the best, like, it sounds like it's a skilled technique. And
it is.
So you have to know about it. You have to know how to do it. I can know how to do all the super boosts in the world, but if I don't know exactly how to execute or can't execute at the right time, like, it doesn't really help. So, and again, like for those, if you are one of the people like, oh, don't share the secret, looking at you, Picasso. like the reality is you want more people to be competitive. And so sharing that information to make them feel like they can be competitive. And if your lead is that fragile, that one little secret would ruin your ability to compete, then you ain't as good as you're saying you are. So
damn, calling him out on it. Yeah, damn. Anyway, hey, this track is only 1.63 miles long. It is super, super fast. I'm expecting times for an entire race right around the 2.5 minute mark for anybody who does it really, really well. So this thing's cooking. This is you're less than a minute per lap. So yeah. So it's going to be a fun track tomorrow. So everybody check it out, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time on our YouTube channel, MRNN Network on YouTube. Anyway, heat number 1. We've got Picasso, TB125, Almost Human, Akapropi as our starter for tomorrow. Scorpio King and JH2271. Couple of teams going head to head here. We actually only have one team that's not racing a teammate this week, and that is Castle Elite Racing. TB125 got into heat number 1. And
no, Fast Track, right? Fast Track isn't racing.
I'm sorry, two teams. Yes, you're right. 2 teams. Fast Track and Fast Track and Castle Elite. So we've got MV running against each other, Neo Motorsports running against each other in heat number 2, and then High Park Ninjas and Metaforce Racing running against each other in heat number 1. So it's going to be a super interesting day tomorrow. Can't wait for it. Sam Mahoney is our starter in heat number 2 with Wander, Ja Rashad, Buellman, Metashpook, and Matsuda. So going to be interesting. You got the Mahoney boys in the same heat, and they've had a rough couple of weeks. So we'll see how it goes.
But they still got a chance this season.
But they still have a chance.
You can't ever count them out. Like
you can never, absolutely. You can definitely never count them out.
Big mistake.
Yeah, for sure. Because they're not 5-time series champions for nothing. Just throwing it out there. And that's pretty much what's happening with racing this week.
Awesome. Looking forward to that, and we'll see how tomorrow ends up. How did Saturday night show go?
Saturday night show was awesome. We had a great premiere. We had a lot of fun. We're going to do it again this week, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Check us out. It is our new show. It's called On the Track Live with myself and Ant-Man 89 and City Pigeon. And we were hanging out and having a good time doing some public racing. We got quite a few races in. We had a couple of winners. Somebody won a cart. Somebody else won a couple thousand extra UPX. So it's a lot of fun. So we want to get more attention into racing, get more people out doing it. So if you want to have a good time and want to have a good time, come on out and race with us on Saturday night.
All right. I got, you know what? One of these days I might try to sneak 9 p.m. So 8 p.m. my time.
Yep.
Yes,
8 p.m. your time.
I really want to catch some of this racing. I'm very the racing aspect appealed to me for what I'm just so shit at it. Like that's the problem is like it's like a lot of these games. Like I like turn-based kind of strategy games. That's me. I like to plan my turn out, execute. That's my game. So this like real time, racing, I'll leave it to the hand-eye coordinated people that are good at it. But it is, I really want to catch some live racing. So it sounds like that is the way to do it.
It is a good time. And we had a lot of fun last week. We're going to have a lot of fun again this week. Can't wait for it. Hopefully everybody can come check us out.
Yeah. All right. Very cool.
All right. Yeah. Vulgar, I'm drinking Angel's MV Triple Oak Finish bourbon whiskey. So that is the drink of the night.
That stuff's rough, man. I can't do it. I don't know why. I can't do bourbon. I can't do whiskey. I'm a vodka guy. I like vodka.
There you go.
I like a good tequila.
I got some in my. I'm doing Monster vodkas right now.
Oh, there you go.
Don't you have to go to sleep soon?
No, I'm actually. My weekend starts on Friday, so I'm generally off on Friday and Saturday, so I'm on weekend time right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then JT goes and
JT always.
It's shots, man. I'm talking shots.
Right?
We know how you are, JT.
He's talking about an ice luge down at Harry. That's what it is.
We know how you are, JT. And we love you for it.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, Mass.
Right,
Thank you
Rob.
so much. Well,
All right,
good luck
guys.
tomorrow. Have fun Saturday night, and we'll talk with you next week.
Absolutely. We will
All
see
right.
you on the track.
See
Ooh,
you.
I like it.
I like it. That's your out. We'll see you on the track. There you go. That's your phrase. Yeah, that was awkward.
That
Sorry.
was so
Here,
awkward.
let me have more.
You are awkward, bud. You are so awkward. Yeah, take a drink.
Mhm.
Your timing is just like 2 seconds. Even like the intro today was just like you weren't ready for the next transition. So it was just like
I
bro.
couldn't find the video. I was scrolling trying to find it. I wasn't ready, so it was just like looking at the camera trying to find it.
You know, good thing we aren't live or anything.
Oh,
it's all right. We'll edit
we'll
it out.
just edit it
post.
out.
Yeah.
We'll just edit it out. Post-production, not a problem.
Yeah.
All right. We did touch on this right before we got into racing, but yeah, Vegas is expanding, and they're doing it in waves, I guess is a good way of saying it, because you got the property pre-sales. So they're doing the bundles that starts on Sunday, registration, the sale goes on Monday. And it's like the normal bundles that we have been seeing, the low, the mid, the high, the curated bundle, and then the deluxe bundle, which is for USD. So they're still keeping the primary UPX sales with the USD bundle. I'm kind of tempted on the deluxe bundle this time because the landmarks you can get is High Roller, Neon Museum, and Mob Museum. So I might.
What's the price points on those?
The deluxe bundle is 99 USD.
I feel like I bought into that when they did one of the California ones. I mean, I don't know. Lamest expansion. Definitely not the lamest expansion. It's thematic. It's a thematic expansion. They're doing the Las Vegas thing with the frost season. So I do like that. Overall, I think the bundles are the way to go. It's way more accessible. And now here's the thing. Veterans of the game, it's a fair comment and fair critique that go, we don't want the bundles. Like you have people like Banana and the analytic assassins that are out there just destroying the insights, figuring out where the collections are going to be, and they hit a lot. Like they're very, very good on their research and deployment of it. So if you kind of have that information, you want to just be able to go and mint the very traditional way. I would say that for new players, that can be very overwhelming. Like if you don't have the inside track to that information, if you don't want to spend the time to research it, and at the end of the day, you just want, it's more like the standard pack that you would see in any other game where you can just buy and then hopefully, did my thing freeze?
You froze for
everything's
a second.
Refreshing.
You froze for a second. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you froze for a second. Now, I understand everybody's, a lot of people feel that it's lame, but in the grand scheme of things, it does make sense since the next Sparklet Wars is going to be there. They're opening up 17,000 more properties, so you can strategically buy for this, and you can work with other people, that, hey, I don't know what faction we'll be in, but, let's go buy up these blocks or, let's protect this property. So I can see the gameplay that they're trying to do with this expansion from a collector standpoint. Yeah, there's going to be 3 collections. Whoop-de-doo. They're doing it in vanilla, but I don't think, this was picked for the whole purpose of the next round of Sparklet Wars.
Yeah, I guess for me, I'm just talking about the actual selling packages of like the properties and things like that. I like that as a method to onboard new people. I think newer players would appreciate just being able to say, hey, I'm going to pay $99 and have a chance at getting a landmark. I don't have to do any of the oppo research. I can just go click buy and open up my pack like I would any other, random pack. I like that option. Plus, then I don't have to worry about minting, like being there when it actually opens, stuff like that. So I like that as something that they've included now regularly.
Okay. And on top of that, they're also adding in the collector pass sale. So there'll be 1,000 collector passes out there also, which gives you a 15% chance at a collection property. And this also impacts your collector score overall and for the season.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something also on that collector. I will say, I believe it's Unspoken that was who beat me.
Yeah.
He's now top in collector score. So shout out to Unspoken. I know he's been putting together his collection to compete with mine, and he has successfully overtaken. So kudos and shout out to him. Much deserved.
And if that wasn't enough, they did do the Vegas expansion sweetener sale. You get some UPX, and you're going to get a block explorer. They added 4 new block explorers to this. So they continue to add to things that you can acquire for your collection score. And I did hear some people complaining about, this is now just a money grab. But you coming from a gamer's world, these are the types of things that people like in the season, more things to buy to improve your score, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little... Oh, man, my internet is just crapping itself today.
Yeah.
It's a little odd, but, I mean, overall, I guess it's oh my gosh. Wait.
No, I'm back.
Oh, okay.
I
was like, I've never seen my video can't cut you out. But I don't know how else they would do it. I mean, money grab, that whole money grab concept is just kind of stupid in general. It's not, you're getting something. Some things are just better values than others. And that is like that in any game. Every game has seasonal or event options where you can buy in, and then you have to, as a community or as an individual, figure out what's it going to cost to compete in this event. So usually honestly, most of the games that I play have weekly events that are or just every couple weeks where the amount you're spending is usually in the hundreds of dollars to compete for a top spot for whatever that little bonus or tag or reward is. And so I can see it. It makes enough sense. Yeah, my dog is going nuts. I don't know what her problem is. But yeah, hold on, I'm going to go check this real quick.
All right. Yeah. So you're going to go check that. Awesome. In the middle of thought, he's like, I got to figure out when my dog's going nuts today.
Well, yeah, because she's barking. She never barks.
Yeah.
Come here, little rat. Oh, gosh. Ooh, all right. No, so I think they're really, nailing down this whole seasonal concept, the seasonal rewards, the collector score is something that I really like. I'm not really competing in it as far as the seasonal collector score, because again, they have rightfully attached the collector score, say, to things like the seasonal badges, which do require some significant action. I know our buddy Rodrigo, who's going for the decorating thing, it takes a lot of time and effort to kind of place in these competitions now. So they are rightfully going to active community members. And so.
And I did for the decorating, they did put a cap on the map asset creators that you can only have so much of your own in there.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's smart.
Or they did it for one of the decorating contests. I'm not sure if it was for this season, but I did remember reading that they were capping you at 25 of your assets. I'll verify that.
There you go.
Where is the...
I will be interested as well. I know there was some talk about like the upcoming wars. I will be interested to see if and what they change about this season or the next set of Sparklet Wars. There's definitely going to be like different structure ornaments going to be for sale. I'll be interested to see then what that does to the original set of assets. I thought 25% cap was for builder score.
Yeah, it was for builder score. It wasn't for this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I saw that. No. But five neighborhoods are being released: Canyon Gate, Desert Shores, Kyle Canyon, Pico Ranch, and Pioneer Park. It's everything to the west of what's already been released. If you're FSA, you're not listening to the show if you're FSAs, but there is minimum price of 1,140 for a property. Maximum price is just about 1.16 million UPX, and the average price is going to be 26.7K.
Yeah.
UPX.
Well, while you might not be FSA listening to this, if you are someone who has maybe a friend or somebody who's thinking about getting into it, like that, the FSA play is a big initial consideration. So if I was looking to bring somebody else in, this expansion, I don't know, like I'm not a super big Vegas person, but if I was, then that might be something I consider. Like, hey, they're expanding and they are going to have a set of properties that is only available to new players to help you kind of onboard. And so that could be a great opportunity for a new player to come in, get some of these FSA properties, and even then be able to compete almost immediately in the wars to some degree, at least being able to place objects and things like that. So definitely something to consider is if you're, looking to bring other people in, that might be something.
Yeah. And then they did have the Frost Ornament challenge going on. They sold some ornaments today. They range from $14 to $20. They had some ice dragons on top of it. Yeah. They had some ice dragons on top of it and ice running down the buildings. Once again, you'll compete in the Uplander and Pro, Director, and Executive and above. And once again, another badge and another Block Explorer. So with this announcement, it's adding 5 new Block Explorers to an already busy season full of Block Explorers. So there's a lot to chase for your collector score. And I at some point, you're going to super saturate the secondary market because people are just going to stop chasing. And there's going to be a point where people aren't. I don't think we have that many gamers that are willing to put the amount of money that you put into games right now playing this game to do block explorers and structure ornaments and all that other stuff.
No, they are. It's a delicate balance to try and figure out, how much of this are they able to release. I don't necessarily see. I don't want to say like flooding is a bad thing. If they keep them rare or like sub 100, right? Like
and they all are.
Then, like for me, it still has an interesting collectability to it. I think that there's still value to be had, especially if you like certain styles or going for certain themes. I mean, I'll be honest, that cowboy one's pretty dope. I definitely like the ice block dragon. The slot machines, I could take them or leave them. The fabulous Lost Upland, that always bothered me. Like it's for Las Vegas, but they like rename. It'd be like instead of calling it San Francisco, they called it San Upland. I don't understand why they renamed that one Lost Upland instead of Vegas. Like it's
is
clearly
that
the Vegas.
Trademarked, or is it an IP type thing?
Maybe, but then just don't use it at all. Like I don't know, because I'm trying to think. Like, do other cities have like their names on things? I mean, the trader ones do, don't they?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I always found that a little just unsettling. Like I never really got into that. But I don't know.
Yeah. All right. And then they had the NFLPA Wobblers released.
I'm just gonna take a sip of my drink right now.
They had the NFLPA Wobblers released. They had 750. I actually did register for it and ended up got called into a meeting, so I missed my spot in line.
Wow,
They
congratulations!
had 160 people in front of me, so I missed.
Yeah.
And by the time I got out of the meeting, it was passed. But there's going to be 3,200 of these over time. And
can you imagine, like, I don't know, if this was my image, I'd be like, the hell are you guys doing? Like, this looks like the worst. Like, they just like scanned and like copy pasted it onto like these generic people. Like, first of all, just look at player 26 and 16. Look at the face.
Saquon Barkley, and I think that's supposed to be Daniel Jones.
Well, okay, look at the skin coloration on their face, and they're the same arm color. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's weird. It's the same body with just other faces, but there's been no diligence in like, hey, why don't you match the skin color at least? Try to. That seems
like
very
Tyreek Hill there on the end.
like, yeah. And why do they all have gold chains? I've never like. That seems unnecessary, and the helmets don't seem to fit. Like, I don't know. I feel like when I played football, my face guard was below my chin. Like, it feels like if my chin would get punched, and some of their chins are going through it. Like, I don't know. You're putting the face of your brand on these things. Like, I just feel like the quality. Oh, looks like a Stretch Armstrong. That's a great analogy. Safe to say I hate this. Safe to say I'm confused by this. Again, if you're gonna take the time to do something, which is cool, I love that they're wanting to expand it. First of all, Wobbler is like, do they actually move? Like when you click on them, like do their heads bobble at least? Or like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get one, so I can't tell you.
Well, you saved yourself some embarrassment on that, I think. I don't know. I feel like you're putting out this brand's product. If I was this player, I would be pretty upset that this is how you made my likeness. The last time that they tried to do anything out of community members, they did Blockchain Heroes. They made blockchains and stickers and all kinds of stuff. And we were promised royalties, and then we ended up getting like one card. They don't do anything. I got 5. There you go. Yeah. So sorry to the Wobbler fans, I guess.
Yeah. I saw the initial headline, so I'm like, okay, I'm interested. We're doing something new with NFLPA. And then
right.
I saw this and I was like, all right. It's something.
Yeah. Do we have a back view of them? I'd be curious. I would love to know what. Like, I would love to watch one of them just spin around. Like,
no, they didn't. Well, probably one of them will spin around if JT can show us.
Yeah. Anyway, again, like the concept of, player bobbleheads, super popular. Like collectible. I mean, that's like a collectible action figure type thing. Who wouldn't want to have one of those? And I'm guessing they're legits. They're not block explorers, right? It's just like a legit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Or like like what if they made like an inflatable one for your yard? Yeah, they're legit. Like that would be cool. Like why don't you make like they should make NFLPA map assets. Like, here's a field goal post and like a backyard barbecue set and like inflatable versions of your favorite ones, or just like I don't know what you could do with just like the colors, but like different footballs and stuff like that. Like that could be cool. Show your pride, structure ornaments supporting different teams. Like they could expand the brand out from just these generic legits out into some of their other areas, and even throw more compelling competitions. Like who can throw the best pregame tailgate on their property, throw up a decoration, throw up some ornaments and assets, do something like that. That would be compelling and would get, I think, a cross of both NFLPA legit players as well as map asset collectors. I don't know. I would love for them to be more successful with NFLPA legits, because I think that would lead to other brands wanting to be excited about it.
Right.
And yeah,
the NFLPA is almost as big as the NFL. I mean, their players play in the NFL, but
they're not anywhere close. That's not.
I know.
No.
But you were hoping that this would gateway into something with bigger brands, and being as close to the NFL, you would hope it would go that way. But also, good presentation of the brand will bring more brands, and that's what Sandbox has a lot of major names with them in it.
Sandbox pays for that, though. Like, let's be very clear. Like, Sandbox gets those brands because they pay to have those brands. I don't think Upland pays to have brands. And if they do, they should spend a little bit more and get some better ones. But I think they're actually approaching it from a cooperative business perspective, which is why they're grinding out some of the, more tertiary brands, I'll say. Not necessarily bad. Sandbox is taken with a huge market. Sandbox, I feel like Sandbox is dead. I haven't heard anything about it in a long time. Everything I hear about it seems like nonsense. But I would say Upland is trying to do it the right way with their partnerships. NFLPA has now been in the game for what, 3 years?
4
years?
4.
No.
20.
When did it get announced?
2021.
Really? So, I mean, they've had the brand for 4 years. We know that there's been some
3 going on 4. So yeah, 3 years. Yep.
We know that there's been some rocky points with their collaboration. It seems, and like, I think that was a large part why we saw kind of a stall out for a while on seeing anything from it. It seems like they're past that. They're putting out consistent content for it. I just would like to see that elevated a little bit. I think that they could do a little bit better by that brand, and then subsequently other brands would see it and get more excited about what potential Upland has for them. How much does NFLPA acknowledge? Now, that's a fantastic question. As far as I know, like, yeah, that would be great. Like if NFLPA had a tweet that was just like, go check out all of our cool new legits inside of Upland and link to Upland. Like that would be bonkers, right? I don't think any of the brands now, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and if anybody can point me to it, if there are brands that have tweeted Upland from their like primary brand accounts that Upland is doing business with, I would love to see that. But yeah.
Yeah, other than that, it was a pretty quiet week in Upland.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think they're chugging along. I think they have their contests kind of set. I hope that they're preparing something interesting for the next wars that will make it more compelling and less lopsided, I think would probably be the best word. I don't know how they're going to do that outside of forcing you to like whatever pass you get, you're kind of stuck with. I think that would be interesting because a lot of people bought the passes just to resell them. And so if you remove that resale element to it, I think that would be I don't know how the community would feel about that in general. But that would fix the problem because then every single time you're randomly put into a group. But I don't think that creates, you're not going to get the strong showing because people are going to get discouraged if they don't get the one that they want. They're not in with their friends. Being able to trade causes a tremendous amount of secondary market activity. And so I think that they have no reason necessarily at this point to change the formula too much because I would imagine by their metrics, it was wildly successful.
And I did find that they introduced the NFLPA legits on September 7th, 2021.
September 7th, 2021. Okay.
And then it took a while to actually get to launch it, but because we're like, what's going on? And I remember talking about it on the show. It was going to be week 4 and then it was week 5 and we got somewhere around week 8, 9 or 10. I'll look a little further, but yeah.
Yeah. And again, I like that they're continuing to evolve it, that they're not giving up on it, that they're introducing new things and new ways for fans to interact with it. I don't think we're going to see some of the initial promised opportunities. I would still love to see like sign legits, things like that,
Yes.
that never really came to fruition. I think like that would have been a really big kind of game changer. Yeah, when people, I mean, even I did. I mean, I probably sunk, I don't know, hundreds, maybe even thousands into it initially, because I was like, whoa, this is cool. This was a big brand. I mean,
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing, right? I mean, we didn't have any other brands. Oh, really? Really? That's the nicest thing that TM has ever said about the NFLPA in the last probably 3 years.
2 years, because he was all about it the first year. Like a lot of us were all about it the first year. It had a lot of promise. We understood the brand. We understood, and at the time there was a lot of being able to blend NFTs or burn NFTs or mix them together to create something and
replicas and moments.
Yeah.
You'll have that.
So it was about a year. No, it was about a year later. So maybe a year and a half later after the announcement, late 2022, early 2023, when it really started to sour. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's unfortunate. I know that that's not what Upland had in mind. FIFA was, I understand soccer even less than I understand football. So that one, FIFA seemed like a big, now outside of like, there was a bunch of documentaries on how corrupt FIFA is as an organization. So that was kind of, whatever. But I'm not a big soccer person. So I still went in on it. But yeah. I try to get in anytime that Upland does something new. And I think, you know what? One of the people was talking about, one of the people we were talking to said their advice for a new Uplander is, if Upland is doing something new, get in on it. And that's a great suggestion. Now, it's not always going to be hits. You could get in big and early on something like totems, and feel one kind of way, or FIFA, but you could get in early on cars or carts or airports. There's a bunch of things that you could get in early on that end up paying dividends. If you were early in on Spark and Sparklet and treasure hunting, taking advantage of new things can definitely be beneficial. We see a lot of market activity when new things are released. So definitely getting outside of that. Anything outside of properties has been a loser. I don't know that I 100% agree with that. I've been very happy with block explorers, even decorations to some degree. Map assets have been interesting. But yeah, the brands, I'll be honest, I think they're struggling right now to find a meaningful way to incorporate brands. I think that is a hurdle that Upland needs to kind of overcome, is how can they show brands value for both, the brands and then the players who are buying into these brands. And I don't think that they've figured that formula out yet.
Yeah, they just overproduced the Spirit legits. There were some decent legits, and Blockchain Heroes was successful at the time, but then it died off and there was nothing after that. It was just like, here's your cards.
Yeah.
And I never got my deck. I was eligible to get an in-person deck and I never got my deck.
Yep. I still got mine for sure. Yeah, there's been some cool collabs. I mean, here's the other thing is, though, it all plays into Upland history and lore. So in the long, in the 10-year roadmap, so 5 years from now, these things will be part of kind of the origin stories of Upland. So I think that they will have historic value if and when Upland becomes a more dominating platform and breaks out of its kind of smaller player base into a larger player base. These things will be collectible on their own. People will want part of Upland history, especially if layer 2s start to take off and incorporate them in any way, shape, or form. Even minimal utility added to these over a long span of time will end up showing, I think, potentially significant returns. I look at those Spirit legits, those became hell. I thought they were garbage, but people collect the heck out of them. Sometimes they're actually hard to get. Those old school Spirit of Halloween legits, people collect the hell out of them now.
Yeah.
So something that something that might not look like a winner now, could get a rapid fan base. Or, as much as we joke about those wobblers, in 5 years, they could be hilarious. I mean, think of what were those stupid first NFTs that everybody went nuts? CryptoPunks. Those 8-bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
They were janky as hell, but because they were the first ones, people went nuts over it. So who's to say that wobblers won't be the CryptoPunks of the future? I don't personally see that, but crazier things have happened.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. I mean, you are a seasoned player, and you've put in a lot of time and money and effort. Like your views are completely valid. Like, Stacks is legit fun. I'm here for it, right? Like Stacks, outside of the home address, which actually doesn't even play into it, I don't see how it adds any value to any asset in Upland. But any exposure that Upland gets, I guess, is good. I just wish that it would have more to do with anything in Upland. Like, even if the blocks were just like shaped like the houses, like different types of houses, like just overlay something. I don't know. Like make it thematic to Upland in any way. It's instead of it just being, I guess we'll see. I love a good Trojan horse game. I mean, that's the idea, but own 500 Sparklet and play unlimited. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. Now I am excited though. No. I am excited though. We're just a little over a week away of a new series. We're going to do 31 Uplanders in 31 days. We're going to be interviewing Uplanders to get to know you, get to know them a little better, and we will release each one of them every day in the month of March. So you get to meet a new Uplander, learn more about them, and I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a fantastic series. It's going to be a great opportunity to meet, like, honestly, there's some people that we're interviewing that, like, I've never, talked to myself. So getting to know more about them is fantastic. There's obviously going to be a lot of people that maybe are well known in the community, but maybe you get to see a different side of them. It's going to be good. Are we sharing who the first Uplander is? No.
No.
I would trade a Rutherford property for 2 super flavor poo tea.
I'll get you a flaming poo tea there. TM.
There you go.
I don't need a Rutherford property. That used to drive me up the wall of how overvalued those properties were. But it was a great treasure hunting node.
Yeah. I mean, again, what do they go for now? I don't even want to know.
I don't know. But yeah. And as you said, there's some people that I've seen their names around, and I was very excited that I just reached out and said, "Hey, are you interested in doing that?" And they're like, "Sure." And like, there wasn't even a bunch of questions. Then other people are like, "Yeah, I'll do it." But why'd you pick me? And that's what I was trying to go for, is get some big names that everybody knows in the community and get to know them a little bit better. Plus also other people that might not be as vocal in the community, but you see their names in the community. So I think it's going to be pretty fun, and it's a lot of work, but it's going to be pretty fun.
Oh yeah. And of course there'll be some surprises. They want to know number one. Can we let them know number one?
No.
When can they know number one?
Next week.
All right. Next week.
Tell us who you think number one should be.
Oh, yeah. Who should be number one? We've already picked number one. They're already set. But who should be number one? Anyway.
Is Vulgar nominating himself for number one?
I don't know. Apparently. Now, that would be a scoop. That would be
a scoop.
That would be impressive.
I can tell you that's a no.
Yeah. Well, no. It's maybe. We don't know. You have to tune in next week to find out. Is Big A the first person we interview? No. That's not.
No. It would be nice, but he likes to lay back and hide out.
Oh, we got Dizzy, Tosshead, Almost Human. Oh, some big names.
Yeah.
Different. Vulgar's Upland 1 through 10, just different personalities. Nice.
We could just do a whole month with Vulgar.
They'll love that. Vulgar says cheese.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time. And we got some other things planned after that following the month of March. Excited to be able to do a couple more things that we haven't been able to do.
Yeah. Now that would be one. Now that would definitely be interesting. No, it's not going to be them. All right.
I got 10 characters I can conjure up.
So if anybody is curious, there was an update from our fearless leader Stosh on the Spark Exchange. He is actively working on things. So thank you everybody for your patience and continued support on that. We are in works now getting the APIs to the GAT Studio to further develop on the game that we showcased before, which is going to be Block Explorer Dojo. So excited to see that progress. And so, yeah, stay tuned for more on that. Nice. I'm excited about it. There's going to be a bunch more updates on it. I really see Vibes to me has probably one of the biggest potential. And again, not financial advice. Please no, it's not financial advice. I'm just saying this because it's something I'm personally excited about and have been involved in. So obviously I'm very bullish on it. I want it to be successful. I think it's super cool. I think it has a lot of potential to enable other games to feed off of it. So Vibes kind of being a centralized Block Explorer data set on layer 2, and then being able to quickly spin up games that leverage that same data set, and then being able to add value to it, much like the properties in Spark Tycoon. So yeah. please don't go crazy on it. Especially because I need to buy a bunch of Block Explorers. So don't jack up the market yet. Let me get my Block Explorers first.
Let you get him first so you can. Yeah, I see how it works.
Yeah, so then I can resell them for much higher.
Yeah.
Ooh, Laban Mari for a double interview. That would be fantastic.
I wonder if I could spin that.
No, that's too. I mean, I guess we could do it like we can do an extended episode. So like interview them both, but then do it over 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope so. I think we are going to hopefully. Stosh right now is really focused on getting the Spark Exchange stable. So I know he's cutting out like the arcade and some of the prize wheels and things because he doesn't want to take time away from being able to really make sure that the Spark Exchange is working as it's intended. Everyone's getting paid out correctly. All the balances and all of that is going smoothly. And then I'm heading up kind of that game development side with the dojo and GAT Studio. And then we'll continue to kind of expand out on the Spark Tycoon and integrate that in. So there you go.
I love all these names everyone's throwing out too.
Right?
They're all great people that I'd love to talk with. So we'll see how the month shapes up. And that's the other question. What is the best time do you want us to release these interviews at each day?
420.
That would be good to know. 424. Okay, what are we back in high school?
You asked.
I was asking the audience, not you.
Well, ask Chat GPT. It'd be like, what's the best time to release YouTube content?
I do have the best times for us to release content, but it's not every day because we see the spikes because we do everything on Thursday. So our traffic at the best time to release is through the weekend.
Our traffic. No, you just ask it in general. Like what is the best? Because they have all that data. Like what's the best time of day to release new content? Just ask it.
Okay, I'll ask it.
Why are you making this so hard? Don't ask the audience. The audience doesn't know.
I was waiting for people to put comments in the show after we recorded to help. You'll catch on one day.
Wait, you read comments after the show post? If you post comments after the show, well, Too Stupid will read them. So I guess there you go.
I always have.
Wow, good for you.
Somebody's got to do it.
I mean, I feel like if they tagged me, it would tell me, right? Can they tag me? So. Can you tag in comments? Oh, thank God, then.
Oh, geez. All right. So we're getting progress on the Spark Exchange, getting closer to Vibes, and we're doing 31 Uplanders in 31 days. And yes, RCP Cash would be a great interview. And I reached out to some people, that I think the community would really like to hear from, and a lot of them just kind of want to stay in the background too, because that was one of the other things. I'm like, who's the names that you see but never hear from in chat or on shows? So I tried to reach out to a bunch of them too to try to snag some.
Well, we should make a list of them, because as far as I'm concerned, then they're all bots.
They're all bots.
They're fake accounts. They're not real. If they don't come talk to us, are they even a real account? I'm calling suspect.
And we have not asked all 31 Uplanders yet either. So we're getting there.
Well, there's a whole list. I mean, Mike, outside of like ones which are obvious trolls, ones that are maybe less obvious trolls suggested here, but a lot of great names up here. Again, we could probably do 365 Uplanders in 365 days. I mean, we're not going to.
I just don't have that time. I would end up being divorced.
Yeah. So.
And that's the worst thing. So my wife was out of town. I had Monday night, Tuesday night, and my wife came back Wednesday. So ThankMeLater and myself scheduled some interviews Monday and Tuesday night. And then my son's like, are you doing more 31 Uplanders in 31 days tonight? And I'm like, no. He goes, well, you've been doing them every night since mommy's been gone. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? I said, and technically I did not do any Wednesday night. So knock it off. I'm like, just sell me out like that.
Right.
I'm like, sell me out like that. I see how it is. And he goes, you've been doing a lot of those. I go, you got to pre-record some of them, and 6 is not a lot. So
yeah, like we got 31 of these to do, bro.
Yeah, I said, I don't want to. I said, we got a lot going on. We have to start pre-recording some of it. And that's how a lot of programs actually work. They pre-record a bunch of their interviews. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, you can't rely on, we've already had, some rescheduling and conflicts and, I don't think it's any surprise to anybody that you have to pre-record content like that.
No.
So, yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't know why we were just typing names. Disney would be your favorite. I guess that's the other thing. It's not just who was going to go first, because there can only be one of those. But who would you be most excited to hear from? Definitely let us know, and then hopefully they'll see it, and we could say, "Hey, look, the community wants to hear from you." If there are maybe holdouts.
Yeah. And a couple of names were mentioned that were holdouts, and I'm going to hit it up and be like, the community wants to hear from you.
Yeah.
And we did get somebody's first interview ever. So I was excited.
That's true. And that was a pretty big one, I think, because I was surprised that they've never really been interviewed, but
say the best till last. It's going to be a fun month.
It'll be a month.
Yeah. And in that meantime, we're probably in the next week, we're going to hear some Genesis Week details.
Oh, yeah. That should be coming up.
And then leading up into in the middle, towards the end of 31 Uplanders in 31 days, we're going to somewhere around the 27th, we'll start hearing the April Fool's joke or lack thereof a joke.
Oh. Man, I don't know how they're going to top.
Oh, I don't.
About that. I don't know how they're going to
Bermuda.
Bermuda.
Yeah.
Bermuda was so chef's kiss of that was one of my proudest moments of no, wait, this is I remember that show. That was such a fun show.
Yeah.
Of we had talked about it beforehand. You had kind of convinced me that I was crazy. I know, I can't believe that's already been a year on that. You had convinced me I was crazy, but I was like, I'm going to still play it. I think it's real, even though you've convinced me it wasn't real. And then halfway through the show, I was just like, wait, no, I believe it again. I actually believe it. Hold on. It was, that was super cool. And I love that we got a badge for being there, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was, I don't know how they're going to top that.
And I did like that you were disappointed when you thought it was fake because you were at the normal airport and not the international airport and didn't see Bermuda.
I really was. I was like, oh man, I guess I got, and I was like, oh my God, it's international. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how they could top that.
Yeah.
I mean,
the year before, the meltdowns with the disasters really had people up in arms. So, they've had some good ones. And last year was the first one that it was real.
Oh, no. My favorite was when they were like getting a new mascot, getting rid of Miles.
Dizzy lost his mind.
Dizzy was like, I'm done with Upland. I'm selling all my assets. I don't want to play this game, And I was like, bro, like, he loves that llama. He is all about that llama life. And he was out. He was serious. He was actually super upset. That was pretty good.
Yeah. We talked about the ledge and we're like, bro, it's April Fool's. Yeah. So I'm very intrigued. I think it's going to be tough this year. Yeah.
And I think,
But they did one that was real this time. So that changes up because the previous years it was all fake, sort of believable. Could they do it? Yeah. Would they do it? And it was always fake. So now is this real or is it not? So it's going to add some mystery this year.
Yeah. It'll be... No, we'll see. We'll see what they do.
You mean the one at Nassau, Bahamas, the resort?
Right.
Mint out the rooms in the resort. All right. You got anything else before we're out of here for the week? I'll take that as a no.
Did I freeze?
No, you just didn't say anything. You just stared at me.
Am I frozen? Wait, I can see everybody else except for you.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody be safe. Have fun. We'll see you out there in the metaverse.
The UPX Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host who's stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland Property Experts, baby, UPX.